This is part 2 of the videos series. On the first video, we just kind of went through on if the plan didn't have any scale, how to make your scale, and how to do certain things with the tools here on this software. We also did, how to register here some things. There's a few details throughout the video I noticed I missed, but we're gonna hopefully we'll go over some of those things now on this video. Like I said, we ain't measuring any major project here. We're just going over some of the tools, strategies, techniques, tips, and the way I understand and read the blueprint. Of course, every job, even if it's the same retail space, but every project is going to be different. You've got to read the specs. You've got to read the finish schedule. You've got to read the finish schedule for the doors, the finish schedule for the rooms, the specs. Maybe the paint colors are in the specifications, or that's what I mean by specs. Or maybe the colors are just in the finish schedule, or maybe you don't have a finish schedule, and maybe everything is just one overall color. And some small projects are like that, some big projects are like that. Like I said, every job is going to be different, and you have to read through the notes and read through the keynotes, read through the notifications that are on the project that pertain to whatever you're looking for. Some areas might pertain to a different sheet on the set of drawings. For instance, this might have a triangle facing to this wall, because this wall, it's giving you details, so you might have to go to another page A4, sheet A4, detail 7 or detail 6 or reference 6, reference 7, or whatever the case may be. Some plans are labeled different, but in general, if it's like referring to here or you can't find something, make sure that it's not another sheet. Usually everything is on another, usually what you're looking for, if it's not on that sheet, it'll be on another sheet. And if you can't find it, sometimes call the architect, call the GC that send you the plans, call the person involved that send you the plans, and find your answer, because your bid proposal is going to have a lot to do with what you missed and what you didn't miss. And I'm just going to be straight honest with you, man. There's a lot of stuff that even these estimators for these multi-million-dollar companies, they miss a lot of stuff. I've missed a few things here and there, and sometimes you got to put a little meat on the plate extra just in case. But I mean, you try to do the best of your ability to try not to miss anything. Sometimes you might miss even what type of material that they might use for a certain room. Is it fire rating paint for a certain data room, or for a certain mechanical room, or is it certain, even a sheen? Is your pricing for a sheen different, even though it's the same material but a different sheen? All these things, you gotta identify them before you make the mistake and send the bid proposal, and that's it. I mean, usually when you get a contract and you send a bid proposal and they accept it, and that's the number that you chose, everything that is on that project, even if it's not on the set of plans, but it's on the specifications under your division, whatever division you're bidding, whether you're bidding division, I'm meaning to the specifications where it's referenced to your trade. Whether you're doing the gypsum board, the ceiling grid, the painting, the flooring, the structure, the hardware, the doors, the accessories, the whatever the case may be that you're bidding, you got to make sure that everything that is calling for your trade, if it's on the plans, that you call for it on your takeoff, because once the contract is signed, I missed this, I missed that, usually the GC will not accept for your mistakes, whatever your mistakes are, and you got to eat them. And it's happened to me plenty of times. Thanks to God, it's usually on small things, nothing major. I usually try to be careful on all the major stuff, all the exposed structures. If the mechanicals, even though nobody's going to be going to those mechanicals, sometimes they call for exposed structure painting, and you might think it doesn't say painting because nowhere on the plans it says painting, but you go to the specifications and there it is. Any exposed ducts, any exposed whatever, in mechanical areas, IT rooms or data rooms, whatever, it'll say paint exposed HVAC or air duct. That means everything's obviously going to go painted. So you got to be careful with those details. That being said, we're going to go ahead and get into this this set of plans and just go over some of the things, and you know, these techniques that I'm going to be showing, eventually it'll help you it'll everything that I'll show you, it'll eventually get you to where you're able to do a takeoff on a small project. And if you have a lot of patience, you know, just it's the same process and a lot of loading right here on this area. Walls might be 8 feet, fur downs might be 2 feet. Other fur downs in the same room might be 4 feet, or fur down might be 6 inches, and all that. You got to go loading it here. Create a new takeoff every item you're measuring. You know, you don't want to start like I said on that other one. You got to, some areas you want to lock it, lock the takeoff. That way you're not measuring. Like I said, the corridor might be 10 feet, and these rooms all might be 8 or 9 feet. Then I'm measuring a room, and that same takeoff, I'm measuring the 10 feet corridor. Now I'm eating 2 feet of height from the surface area wall on this corridor. It starts adding up. I mean, that's a lot of missed items that you're missing, that you're basically stealing from yourself or from the company that you're working. Whether you're, you know, watching these videos for your own benefit of your company, or you're an estimator for another company. That being said, we're going to go ahead and move forward and start off with, let's say that this room, once again, was 8 feet. And then I'm going to go in here and do surface area. So surface area represents the length, meaning if I walk the whole room, that's the length or the linear feet times the height of the room. So if this room's 8 feet, I'm going to put 8 feet. If this room's 9 feet, I'm going to put 9 feet. If this room's 10 feet, I'm going to put 10 feet. If this room's 12 feet, I'm going to put 12 feet, so on and so forth of height. Linear feet, I'm going to go measuring it, but I'll go making a takeoff for every single thing. Or some cases I will do, so here it's going to be 9-foot gypsum, and sometimes these walls might be cinder block, and you might have to put cinder block here. Instead of putting gypsum, put CMU walls, because you don't want to, you know, you're going to take it's a different material that you're going to put a block filler on the CMUs, and that might be one pricing, and then you're going to put primer on the gypsum board. That's going to be another price per gallon, or per 5 gallon, whatever the case may be. So you always want to make sure that you know what you're measuring, what wall is what, and identify them here, and then you'll be able to click at whatever you're measuring. So let's say all this exterior wall, no, let's start off with this room. So this room, we're going to use that it's 9 feet. Surface area 9 feet in height. Gypsum board is only going to be these 3 walls right here, along with this column. And if that column's cement, then you might want to not measure that. It'll usually have an L bead right here and an L bead right here, and then it'll just be plastered with cement. So here it's 9 feet. Let's say it's 9 feet because that's what we have it labeled as. And then we'll lock it. And then we'll measure this area. Let's say this area was sheetrock, which I doubt it, but let's just say it was sheetrock. And right there. The reason I stopped it right there, let's say that this wall was cinder block. So now we're going to put 9 foot. I already had labeled it. We're going to use that one. And then the height is going to be also 9 foot. We'll lock it. Once you lock it, you can't use a different height. And then right there. So now we identify that that back wall is a cinder block or a CMU wall. And this wall is a tape, float, texture, and paint. And or if it's another trade, if it's this wall, if say that you're the framer, this wall is going to be the the masonry guys, and then this walls are going to be the drywall framer guys. So you can identify them in different ways. Another way. So now we're going to go on to the next room. So let's say that this whole room is getting measured with all sheetrock. Like I said, you can click here 4 times on the room, and then left double click, this whole software mostly uses left double click. Once you want to, end it right there, I'll double click right there. Then say that I want to erase it. I'll go ahead and erase it. Click on it, left click. Then come over here and delete it. But say that I want to measure it all with 2 clicks. Then and it's all gypsum board. Let's not say that this wall is CMU. It's all gypsum, so we'll click here. And then we'll click here. Double click right here. So now that this room is obviously it's got different square footage than this room. So here it'll tell us, if we just go over it with the little cursor, the mouse cursor, and it'll tell us surface area 445 square feet of board, meaning linear times height of the room. Let's do 49.5 because of the 6 inches times 9. And it gives us 445.5. Here it's giving us 445.68 square footage, surface area, meaning square footage of board. And that's a quicker way. If there's, if all the room, if it's basically a squared room, if it's got other, if the rooms are in different shapes and do, 45 angles or 90 angles and things like that, then you'll just use the linear 2. But like I just showed you, it's a way quicker way. What else? Let's now do, let's understand then. So we already did the takeoff of this. And here I think it's from the sample video. It's still loaded. It was loaded on here. So there is 52 square feet, linear feet of trim. And here, so like I was showing you, it gives us a square footage when you put it over 445. Here, it's not going to do it separately. It's going to add it all together. So it's going to add this one, which is 410 plus this room, 445. It's going to give us 855. Probably a little bit more because of the inches of the square foot. So here it's showing 856 square feet. And then at the end, you'll just go to your reports and your report takeoff summary, and it'll not only give you the scale that you did it in, but how many, like here I counted how many door frames there are on the project. And then here it's giving me the square footage of gypsum and then the square footage of the CMU. And if you got accent walls and you want to start separating your accent walls and have it all listed here so that when it's time to do the project, you can do it. And then this, with here, you can also transfer it, export it to an Excel spreadsheet, and then utilize it for your guys to, once you have all your walls, and you can order your material and know your square footage for your material and all that stuff, to have your things precise of according to your takeoff. You don't want to be ordering more material for a certain accent color that you need, and you can have it already here listed. How would we do that? So say that what I would do, for instance, say that each room, I just did a school where each room had a different accent wall. The way I will identify the walls is I'll hide it, and it hides it. And then I'll create a new takeoff. And if I already know the color, I'll just put gypsum walls. That way I know it's gypsum paint, and I'm buying primer for that particular wall and not a block filler. And then I'll put 9-foot gypsum wall, and then I'll identify it by, let's say, P2, because normally the overall color is P1 and one accent will be P2. So I'll put, then in that same room, in this room right here, what I'll do is I have to put the height, and I'll lock it. And I'll put that this wall is going to be P2. So then this this wall, I'll just subtract it from the overall gypsum board because it's here we did all 3 walls, I think. All 4 walls, I'm sorry. Yeah, so we did all 4 walls. We did all 4 walls. So I'm going to subtract, since I measured this wall twice, I'm not going to use 134 and add it on to the square footage of this. Eventually, I'll subtract any wall that I measured twice. I'll subtract it from that original a square footage, from that overall square footage on the accent walls. That's then you'll just go separating and identifying what walls are what. If y'all are losing me here, just keep up, and you have to have patience because when you're measuring a project, that's what matters. You got to be careful and you got to pay attention to detail. The most important thing is pay attention to detail and don't lose your patience. Once you start getting frustrated and don't want to sit here and don't want to learn the project and don't want to understand it, you're basically, I would assume, are going to screw yourself because this is easy. Other set of plans, I mean, this has nothing. You on the floor plan, you already have all the furniture showing in here, so sometimes you can identify if that's a wall right here, if that's a sink, or if maybe you're doing a clinic and a chair goes here, or a countertop goes here, and it's more difficult. I mean, it's different. It's you really got to, like I say, I can't say it enough. You really got to pay attention to detail. Then the bathrooms, same thing. Usually all the bathrooms will have a gypsum board, gypsum ceilings. So we'll be able to see those. I had them hiding. And same thing here. It's not a perfect square ceiling, so I'll use this polygon tool. And I'll just go over the ceiling as I'm doing right now. And double left click, and it highlights the ceiling, showing me that that's a gypsum ceiling. So these are just ways that you can understand, and that'll help you while you're measuring a project. Now, this is just my way of doing it. This in no way is the perfect way or the right way or the only way to measure. This is just my way of doing it. I'll say it again, the detail is going to be on the notes. This is just an empty sheet with no scale, and I'm just showing you certain tools and certain tricks and the way I understand, the way I do it and measure and do takeoffs, but it has no keynotes or no notes. So say that this door is going to get repainted and this door is staying the same. This might have a 2 and this might have a 7. 7 meaning that the door is going to get repainted. Or 7 meaning that the door is going to get painted because it's a new door, and this door is a 2 because it's a used door, but it's not going to get painted. But this one's a 4 because it's used, but it is going to get painted. So this one's a 4 because it's used and it's going to get painted. This one's a 2 because it's used, but it's not going to get painted for whatever reason. And then this one's a 7 because it's a new door. It's noted number 7 because it's a new door and it's going to get 2 coats of paint. And then this one's label a 5 because it's only going to get painted on the corridor and it's not going to get painted in the room. That's just an example. That's probably on a remodel project because new construction, obviously everything is going to be new. And that's what I mostly bid a lot. I bid a lot of new construction. So I just, it's overall, I usually don't have that issue, but I have bid projects where it is new construction, and I have done projects where it is, where it's remodel, not new construction, and there'll be some doors on there that we're not going to touch. As a matter of fact, I might done projects where it's a new construction and there's doors that we're not going to touch because it's the exterior to an existing building, or it's the exterior door to a building where inside it's new construction, but the GC is not touching the outside. So everything depends on the notes, the keynotes. Pay attention to detail and pay attention to the specification. A book, and if it's not a book, the specifications will be on the project, and if there's something that you're not bidding and you're not sure if it's even going to take that or if it's calling for that, don't bid it and exclude it on your proposal and label it there that you're not bidding this for whatever reason. Or and usually they'll call you back and they'll tell you, oh, it does go or it doesn't go. Who will call you back? The GC. They'll receive your proposal and they'll be like, oh, this item does go. Why don't we see it on your proposal? And you'll explain to them, I couldn't find it. I went through sheet so and so, and the reflective ceiling plan, it doesn't. It says that it's a sheetrock ceiling, but it shows as an exposed structure. It shows it with ceiling grid or whatever the case may be. Put it on your bid proposal. That way they don't expect for you to do it, or you'll bring it to their attention right there and then. That's why I also can't stress it enough that it's very important for you to have your takeoffs ready before the bid proposals are due, because you don't want to be at the last minute sending in your number. Although that is what a lot of us do. We're at the last minute sending our bid proposals for whatever reason, making sure everything is right, making sure all the numbers are right, making sure we didn't miss no items, overlooking the takeoff list here, the one that's right here where my mouse is going up and down over, and making sure it's matching everything that's on the project, making sure I got all the boyards. If there's boyards, parking boyards getting painted, make sure I got those. If there's anything outside that is, all the details, because you don't want to find these details once you're already halfway through the project. Oh, I didn't know y'all were putting on 50 boyards in the parking lot and I'm responsible to paint them safety yellow. Oh yeah, it's in your contract. Look. Oh, well, I didn't get it. Oh, but you and the GC might have missed it, but someone's got to do it. If the GC missed it and the GC didn't bring it to your attention and it wasn't on your proposal, bring it to his attention that you didn't bid that, and maybe they might pay you half, or you might put all the labor and they might buy the material, or whatever the case may be. Or you can do it on T&M, time and material, whatever the case may be. But bring it to their attention. So we're going to go ahead and, go over still a few things. If I'm missing anything, please don't forget to leave it down in the comment section. This is only part 2 of the series. I don't know how long this series is going to be, but eventually we'll get around to doing a takeoff on a whole project, and hopefully it'll be fun, and see where it goes from there. And if y'all have any ideas on what y'all, maybe you might figure it out or learn it by watching one of these videos, and oh, I didn't remember how to label this or how to figure out this. All this is all by hand. When you don't have software, now let me tell you something. I might have jumped myself on the last video. I didn't start off by having software to do these takeoffs. I started off by doing it by hand with the scale, with the student scale, till this day. Till this day, right now, I still have it and I still use it when, for whatever reason, the project is not on a software, on files, on e-files. There's still projects that I have to bid by hand, meaning each room, each trick, and each whatever I'm showing you that's fast, that pa, 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 all this, fast action and all that, this, being able to click. When I started off, it was all a student scale that I purchased at a school supply, just a office supply store, and pencil, a mechanical pencil that I still have today, an awesome mechanical pencil that I'll go through all that. I have it right here. I'm sorry, you probably can hear it, me moving around because I was reaching for it. But I'll give you all the information later on, but it's an awesome, all these tools that I use, they're awesome tools, awesome utensils that I use to do when I'm doing everything, when I'm doing takeoffs on a set of plans in my hand. You do need a lot of space. I'll never forget me doing my takeoffs on the bed, because the plan and the project was so big that I did it on the bed, and we were awarded that project. I was probably 17 years old, and it was I think $80,000 project, and I was still working for my father at the time, and none of us knew how to do it. Another huge paint contracting company, one of the biggest, if not the biggest paint contracting company here in the city, was teaching me, here and there for their projects, and I just caught on to it, and I utilized it, and I use it for my own benefit now and for my own good and to make a living. And you can too if you're in your city or your state. I mean, construction is always being built. These projects, construction and GCs and stuff like that, you do got to be careful with shady GCs on not wanting to pay you. But for the most part, there's ways that you can protect yourself. Just do the things the right way. Don't do any extras that you're not bidding on the project that, oh, they'll pay me or they'll pay me on the next job or whatever. No, take care of that. Each project, each extra, each change order, each change, take care of it on that particular project. Don't ignore these things and don't let them, fly away or handle them at the end. Take care of them while they're happening and bring it to the GC's attention consistently if you're doing extras, patches, or if you're an electrician, putting on extra boxes, whatever the case may be on your trade. But always be on top of things. So that's it for this video. I hope this video brought some type of knowledge or some type of you were educated throughout this video. And don't forget to go watch that other video. And throughout this video, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button. After smashing that like button, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and subscribe to this channel. After doing those two things, don't forget to hit that little bell to get new notifications of when new content has been posted to this channel. After doing all those three things, don't forget to leave comments down in the comment section of more content that you would like to see, whether it's got to do with tape, floating, texturing, or painting. And we will do the best of our ability to post more of that content. Hope y'all enjoy. Y'all have a wonderful and blessed day. God bless y'all. And I'll see y'all for part 3 of this series. Go watch part 1.